Hello, all. It's good to see your faces. Well, I'm not seeing your face, but you are seeing mine. I'm going to take a minute today to go through a video lesson with prepositions, and that will hopefully give you a chance to do some more writing practice with prepositions. Remember, continue to work in Burlington, but Burlington doesn't have a lot of writing practice. So today I'm going to walk you through a lesson with writing practice. When you think about a preposition, remember that word is similar in Spanish, and it is used to tell where something is. So the idea behind a preposition is that it helps us be more specific in how we talk and write by telling the location or where something is. I'm going to pull up a screen here that will show a map of a town, and you'll see some of the vocabulary for community that is being practiced, but also we'll be using some prepositions. Okay. Here is our preposition, our map showing the preposition or showing the locations in a town. And as you're looking at that, you should be able to notice some of those community vocabulary words. In case you haven't gotten a chance to practice, we have the gas station, the shopping center, laundry mat, drug store. Another name for a drug store is also pharmacy, supermarket, post office, restaurant, library, ATM, hospital, park, fire station, police station, movie theater, and the bank. And this map gives you a really good chance to practice using prepositions to describe where different buildings in town are. So if you look, here we have some example sentences listed. There is a hospital on Maple Street. So looking here, there is a hospital on Maple Street. And here is the street. Here is the hospital. Notice the word on here. When we think about on in Spanish, we often think of it as two things that are touching. For example, my hands are on top of each other, or we might think of the pencil is on my hand. But in English, when we are talking about something that is a large area of space, then we use the word on. So that can be a little tricky because sometimes people want to use in, and in English is only used for something that actually can go inside of the other object. Also, sometimes people want to use at in English, but at is only used for one specific place in time. So for example, in this example, if you had the address for the hospital, you would say at. There is a hospital at 1112 Maple Street. So notice the difference. When we're being general, we're not giving the address, we're using the word on. If we were specific, giving the address, then we would use at. The next sentence talks about the movie theater. The movie theater is next to the bank. So as you're looking, here is the bank, and I'm going to mark this up here for just a minute. We've got our bank here. We've got our movie theater in a similar location. Out of the way. Okay. And so when we think about these two locations, we're using that preposition next to. And that is an example of a preposition that is generally used with another word. So next is actually used with two words there. We would say next to the bank. Okay. Then we have the last example, the library. The library is across from the police station. So let me mark those in a different color so you can find them. Okay. I think we've got oops, I'm sorry. Oh, I've lost my tool. That's okay. We have library and police station. And in both cases, or in these cases, there's a street in between. So here's our library. And here's our police station. And the word we're using is across. Remember in this example though, it's not just across. We're needing to add the second word, across from the police station. So that again is an example of a preposition where it is necessary to use two words as we're speaking. All right, I'm going to repeat myself one more time, sharing the same information with you. I'll put my bad Spanish in. I know you all love my bad Spanish. So to summarize, okay, to finish, when we are talking about prepositions in English, when we talk about on, habla preposición on is sobre en español, pero este palabra on is por habla más grande locación, no específico, por generale. Por ejemplo, there is a hospital on Maple Street. Nombre de calle is Maple Street. No dirección. Solo calle. Solo generale. So we use, usar, on. If I want to talk about a specific location, por locación específico, con dirección, then we would use the preposition at. Necesito usar at. Por ejemplo, there is a hospital at 112 Maple Street. Okay. Second, when we're talking about the prepositions next to and across from, it's necessary to use two words as part of the preposition. Por prepositions next y across, es necesito usar dos palabras con prepositions. Por ejemplo, next to the bank. Por ejemplo, across from the police station. You can see here this has several spots for writing sentences. So if you're wanting some more writing practice, this would be a really good way to get writing practice. Take a minute, look at the map, and look at each example, and change the example. So, for example, if I'm wanting to tell about wanting to use the preposition on, instead of Maple Street, I would be thinking of a sentence for one of the other streets, for Hill Street or Cedar Street. Okay, and See if I can get a text box to pull up. I'm gonna move my text box down. Maybe. Oh no, we lost it. There we go. So for my example sentence, I'm going to just put it right here next to it. If I'm wanting to practice this sentence, I'm going to use the same sentence form. There is a laundromat on Cedar Street. Okay. So there is my example sentence. I'm using this sentence as my example. And then in blue, in azul, I have my sentence, and I've used the similar format. You can also practice changing the form by talking about more than one example. So for example, if I decide that I want to talk about 2 locations, I would need to change my verb. Let's do it like this. The movie theater and the drugstore are next to the bank. So in this example, I'm making a sentence that's similar to the second example. But instead of using just one location, I am not talking about one location. Okay, here's one location, the movie theater. But in my example that I've created, I am actually talking about 2 locations. And you'll notice that here we have in yellow. Oops, maybe I cannot highlight. In the blue here, we have 2 examples, the movie theater and the drugstore. So that means it's necessary to use a different verb, are. Okay. This then is an example of how to use this map for writing practice. You're welcome to make as many sentences as you want. If you are writing at home on paper, you're always able to take a picture on your phone and send me that text message, and I will look at your sentences, okay? So, por practicar en tu casa, tú puedes escribir palabras por locación con prepositions, similar ejemplo on papel. You can have me look, take a picture, and I'll be glad to practice reading those for you and helping you understand that. I'm going to go back to the full screen here so you can see my face before we go. I will send this out to you this week. And again, you can watch it, and then hopefully that will give you a chance to practice all of that information. I'm going to end by leaving that map up so you will have kind of the end of the video to be able to stop and look at the map. So that's what I'm going to pull up last. Okay. So let me clear all of those out for you so you have a fresh screen for practice. And there you go. You should have a screen you can then click stop or pause. And now it is ready. Aquí, pare aquí por escribir, por practicar palabras.